Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. It's time that we revisit Dossier. Now some of you will be aware that I did a haul of Dossier fragrances about 2.5 years ago. And yeah, well, it wasn't great. I actually still have those 3 fragrances. Here they are. So this one, Musky Oak Moss, is supposed to be an Aventus clone. Citrus Ginger is Bleu de Chanel. And then Aromatic Star Anise is Sauvage. And suffice it to say, I was not really impressed. Actually, I think the Aventus one doesn't really smell like Aventus at all. I did a video after that one. I don't remember how long ago it was, smelling different Aventus type fragrances. And this one you could immediately tell what it was because it's so not Aventus-y that amongst a sea of Aventus clones, it was the easiest one to tell what it was because it just doesn't even smell like Aventus. But time has moved on and now we're gonna check them out again and see if, as time has gone, if they have improved. That one's upside down. Now I know Dossier does a lot of sponsored videos. This one is not sponsored. I paid for each one of these 3. And I'll have Dossier linked in the description in case you want to check out their website. I do want to bring one thing up really quickly before we start looking at the fragrances themselves, and that's the checkout process at Dossier. I don't think I'm a fan. So the small problem that I have with it is when you go to the website and you start the checkout process, when you add something to your cart and then you say you want to check out, it will automatically default to basically signing you up for a Dossier Plus subscription, which is $29 per month. I think the first month is free. And what it does is it gives you an additional discount to your fragrances. And you get that $29 that you pay them each month as store credit that you can use toward buying Dossier fragrances. There are some other perks associated with it. You can check that out on the website, but I didn't really dig how it automatically selected that. So you have to pay attention when you're checking out. And I know you should pay attention, but a lot of people don't. It automatically will select that for you, and then it will have you put in your email address and everything else. And then when you check out, it signs you up for the Dossier Plus subscription service. So when you're checking out, you have to specifically each time go up in the corner and click non-member. That way you don't sign up for their subscription service, and I didn't really like that. I know that there are spots on the website where you can see information about the subscription service and everything, but it still feels a little bit like a kind of a gotcha type deal, because when you start to check out, the Dossier Plus service gives you a discount. I think it's a 10% discount off the bottle price. So most people are gonna be like, oh cool, Dossier Plus, yeah, I'll sign up for that. And they give their email address at the beginning of the whole checkout process, not realizing that it's not a membership in the sense that you give your email address and create a sign-in and boom, now you're a Dossier Plus member instead of a guest, right? A lot of people would think that, but no, it's actually a subscription service you pay for. You can, to be fair, cancel it very easily. It's just one of those things that wouldn't surprise me if a lot of people get signed up for it. And then after the fact, they're like, what is this coming out of my bank account? I didn't sign up for this. And then it becomes kind of a headache. So just be aware of that if you ever shop there. Make sure you don't accidentally sign up for that. And again, yes, the onus is always on the person placing the order. I just don't dig how it automatically defaults to that and basically shows you the discount that you can get by putting in your email address. But if you don't actually pay enough attention, you're signing up for something you're going to be paying for. Now, Dossier is a clone fragrance house, much like Montaigne Parfum or Alt Fragrances or any of those other fragrance brands out there. Their fragrances mainly range between $29 and $49 US for a 50 ml size bottle, but they do have one that's $19, which is Polo Blue, because apparently Polo Blue is getting no love. $10 cheaper than the cheapest other ones. So the ones that I got are called Woody Coriander, Powdery Tobacco, and Fougere Oud, which these are supposed to be clones of The One. It just says The One, so I'm assuming the Eau de Toilette, Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, and Oud Wood from Tom Ford. So let's go ahead and start working through these and see how good they are, how they compare to the real deal. Because clone fragrances in terms of quality have improved a lot over the years, and I want to see if Dossier has improved or if it's how it was before, which not great. So the first one we'll look at is Woody Coriander. That's the Dolce & Gabbana The One clone. This one, $29, is the cheapest of the bunch that I chose. So a little bit different than how they used to come, because they used to come with a little sample, a little like 2 ml sample, and it would say, you know, before you open your bottle, use the sample, and if you don't like it, send the bottle back unopened for a full refund. Now it says your Dossier order has arrived. It's time to test out your new perfume. Do you love the smell? How does it feel? If you're not in love, you are always able to return your bottle. Simply head to the returns page and create a return label and ship it back to us. We've got you covered. Let me check really quickly if there is a cost involved with that or not, if I can figure that out. So it looks like they donate the used bottles that you return, and if you have less than 3 fragrances that you ordered, you have to pay for the return shipping. Otherwise, I think they cover the return shipping, so that's pretty good. So basically just this little cardboard cutout. Bottle sits right inside there. This little note that comes with it has the notes of the fragrance that it's inspired by, the concentration, all that good stuff, and it is the one eau de toilette, it says. All presentations are gonna look the same other than the little card that you get inside, and of course the name on the label and the notes. They still have a magnetic cap, so that's cool. I do like that. So what we're gonna do here is spray tester strips. So I'll do the original on one tester strip, this on the other, kind of see how it comes across. So here we go, the 1 EDT and woody coriander. Nice atomizer. And yes, I know I'm sunburned. You don't have to mention it. Wear sunscreen, kids. It's pretty good. It's not as warm as the original. Comes across actually a little bit fresher, but I'm gonna try skin. I know I have limited skin here and multiple fragrances, so I don't know if I'll do this with all of them, but I am curious. I always prefer to test this way instead of tester strips, but all right, let's see. Yeah, it's not bad. It's like the one with the twist. It's like, instead of going more toward that kind of ambery, tobacco, spicy feel that you get from the 1 EDT or EDP, it leans a little more into like a little sweet fruitiness and sweet spice off the top. I think it's better than the old ones. The first batch that I got in 2.5 years ago. As it dries, it does start to kind of go its own way a little bit, maybe like a little bit greener somehow, which is almost the name, right? Because the name is woody coriander. But if you were to ask somebody, the 1, what do you get from that? Like, what's the main thing that you focus on? I don't think too many people would say, oh, the woods and the coriander. So it's different, and it's kind of going its own way. Could use a little more warmth, a little more spice, but for 29 bucks, it's a really solid pickup. Let's see, powdery tobacco up next. Yeah, they always kind of fall through the little cutout there. Don't need to look at the presentation, straight to the fragrance. Powdery tobacco going in. Whoop. Flopping it all over the place. And Tobacco Vanille, one of my all-time favorites. I can tell you the issue with this one, and it is immediately apparent the second that you smell it. I actually, when I caught a whiff of it in the air, to be fair, I thought, yeah, that smells pretty close to Tobacco Vanille. It's an 18% concentration, it says. The issue here is really reflected again in the name. Fancy that. Powdery tobacco. That's pretty much what you're getting here. Oh yeah, it's really night and day when you smell them side by side. These two are much closer than what's going on here. The issue here is that Tobacco Vanille, which you would expect, is much richer. So the fruits and Tobacco Vanille, you really get those in the opening. The spices, you get that. That zingy kind of sweetness that pops out right off the top, with those warm spices just intermingling throughout, that tobacco leaf, the boldness, the density, all of that you get in Tobacco Vanille is pretty much missing here. So what you have is like kind of a flat tobacco. It doesn't really have that honeyed kind of sweetness. It doesn't really have any texture to it. It just is very powdery and dull. Doesn't particularly smell very nice. It's not very good. Nope. So I could be completely wrong here, but I think it might have a resemblance to this Tobacco Vanille from Pandora Scents, which I'm not really a fan of this, so. No, this is more like bubbly almost. Like bubbly sweet, not enough of that, you know, rich vanilla. I think I like powdery tobacco more than this, yeah. So this one, when we do a side-by-side, just get you out of here, the Tom Ford is clearly better, which I know is not a surprise, right? It's Tom Ford, we all know the price difference, but I'll come back to it. Just let it dry for a second. We got Fougere Oud, this is a 15% concentration, and this one is Oud Wood. Oud Wood, a favorite of mine. I know I said that with Tobacco Vanille, but so is Oud Wood. Oud Wood done by Richard Urpon, who did my upcoming fragrance release. He's been on the channel before. So let's see the difference. Let that settle for a sec. Oh no, that's awful. It's like cleaning supplies. That's rough. I know it sounds like I'm making this up. It's kind of like Oud Wood if you mixed it with Windex. So it's like, it's got a really, like a cleaner astringency in the opening. It's getting a little better. It's just not, that's not close. I don't know what's going on there. Let me do Tobacco Vanille, kind of right here. Okay, do Oud Wood up here, and then do reverse over here. Just let it sit on skin for a second, just so I can kind of judge these better, because I really hate tester strips when you're trying to really judge something. It's good for like a general idea, but so much changes when you spray on skin a lot of times. Yeah, Tobacco Vanille, fantastic. No. It's completely missing the spice. Devoid of any spice. Like I said, off the tester strip, it's pretty much the same thing. It's more powdery than Tobacco Vanille. It's much thinner. It has none of that dried fruitiness, that kind of honey aspect, none of the lively spices. It's very much just kind of a powdery vanilla, like tonka, that's trying to disguise itself as tobacco. No, that's not it. Oud Wood, fantastic. You already know? No. It doesn't smell like Oud Wood. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Again, a lack of spice. That's something that is kind of a theme with these. It doesn't smell like it has much push to it. It's sitting closer to my skin than powdery tobacco. Not even much woodiness, frankly. Not as much of that kind of Windexy, cleaner type feel off skin, so that's good. It's one of those things where if you know how Oud Wood smells, then the second this hits your nose, you will know that's not it. A lot of clone fragrances, when you smell them, you know right away, oh, that's smelling like this, trying to smell like this. Whether it's with a twist or a one-to-one, you know what the deal is. With this one, if you sprayed this on my skin or on a tester strip and you said, what is this a clone of? I could not tell you. I could tell you what powdery tobacco is trying to be, because it smells like a cheap version of Tobacco Vanille. And I've smelled a number of those over the years, so I could tell you, oh, I see what it's trying to be, but it's not doing a great job of it. But this is just really not good. The best one here is far and away Woody Coriander. It's not close. This is the best one. And it's decently close enough, especially off skin, that it gets the job done. The one Eau de Toilette is not a strong fragrance, so Woody Coriander doesn't need to be particularly strong to get the job done. As it dries down on skin, it gets a little bit of that warmth, a similar spiciness. I mean, it's not quite the one, but that's close enough that I would be like, yeah, there's no problem with this one at all. Like, if you want to say this is a good the one clone, I would say, yeah, I'm there for you. I'm with it. I mean, I'd rather have the one, but it's a really good alternative. These two are Tom Ford clones for people who have never smelled Tom Ford. That's really what they are. And the Fougère Oud is shockingly bad as an Oud Wood clone. I don't know, like, I can't really sugarcoat it. It's just, yeah. So, there we go. I might take them up on that return process, honestly. Yeah, I think I will. Woody Coriander is good though. I'll give them credit for that. Like, the more I smell Woody Coriander, the better I think it is. I think legitimately, the longer this stays on my skin, I've been kind of like going back and forth here, just waiting on these to dry, trying to see if like some magic happens, and I go, oh, you just gotta wait 25 minutes. But the longer that they dry down, Woody Coriander is really, I feel like, a good alternative to the one EDT for whatever that's worth. I think it's a really good one. These are all. So yeah, the way that I smelled them in is the rank of how good they are. This one, Woody Coriander, easily the best. Powdery tobacco, it's missing a lot of the facets that make Tobacco Vanille, but you can tell what it's trying to be. So really, it smells like a cheap Tobacco Vanille that's missing everything that makes Tobacco Vanille interesting. Fougère Oud, I don't even know what this is. It's like, as it dries on your skin, it's like you took Oud Wood and just diluted it down to where it was like 10% the strength of what Oud Wood is, and lose and wash out everything other than just the tiniest, faintest woodiness. That's very nondescript. It's, for 50 bucks, it's really bad. I don't care what company releases this, it would get just really ripped apart, I feel like. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't going insane here with these, like with the reaction I had. So I brought the Tom Ford ones up to my wife and had her check them out too and also smell them. By the way, the one, woody coriander, this stuff is good. As it dries down, no problem here. Off the top, a little different, but as it dries down, stuff is like really close. And I kid you not, when I sprayed the Oud Wood alternative, this one, Fougere Oud, first thing she said, it smells like Windex. So at that point I was like, okay, cool, it's not just me. I don't know if it's this bottle, whatever, it's not good. This is really bad. And then powdery tobacco, when she smelled that one, she said that it smelled like a really weird version of tobacco vanilla. It didn't smell right, it smelled off. So that was her reaction. Now I'd say for 50 bucks, yeah. Because you have to kind of think of what else you can get if you're looking for a clone in that price range. You can get Lattafa, you can get Armaf, you can get Offnon, you can get a lot of different clone houses. And I feel like there's kind of a gap there, a pretty big gap between those brands and then what we got right here. So I just wanted to do that quick update. After I finished the video, I was like, man, I gotta have somebody else smell this. She was the only one around. She was my guinea pig. So, all right, I'm out of here. We'll try again in 2.5 years. Stay safe out there, guys. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video.